all day. So as a leader, you got to perfect that to be able to enroll people in the vision based upon what they want, not what you want. Their vision has to be around what they want. Does that make sense? And another piece that I left out. Find out their reason why and their cause. Folks, if you don't get anything else, somebody will move because of a cause more than money any day. Any day. But as a leader, it ain't just money, 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 money. It's what they're going to do with the money. If they're trying to send their child to private school and it's $800 a month, it's the private school. That's their cause. Not the $800. It sounds the same, but it's their cause. If I know Mr. Missouri, I didn't see him at the meeting, or he's not calling me back, I got to tuck that cause. Hey, man, remember we said our whole goal, man, is to help you pay for private school for your son. Do you still want to do that? Because I still want to help you do it. So then it's your son. You're not going to put on him, are you? That sounds much different than the $800. Y'all with me on that? Yeah. So find out the cause. When you work with people and talking to people, find out their cause. Find out what it is that's going to make them do something. As opposed to just talking about money, 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 because you lose people. Does that make sense? Folks, if you use vision when moving people, you'd be surprised of the action that happens. All right? Number 9, you must have high energy weekly team calls. The moment I took control of my team, we implemented a team call. When I didn't have control, I had no team call. I just figured I talk to him, see him in the meeting. Y'all laugh. You know, I'm just telling y'all what y'all probably wouldn't say. When you have a team call, it's not just getting people on the phone and saying I'm here talking to them. It has to be high energy and it has to be informative. Because I'm telling you, as a leader, when you can no longer do something for your team that they can't do for themselves, you're not the leader anymore. I say it again. If you have a team and you can no longer do things for your team that they can't do, why are they going to follow you? They're going to go around you, do something else. Does that make sense? Because we're still people. But if you continue to grow and you continue to educate yourself and learn about the industry that we're in, about the human being, then when you get on a call, you have something. It's not like a corporate call at work that you just hear for 30 minutes just to talk. No, you want to be an asset to your team, not a liability. You follow me? You want to be, like you hear a lot of us talk about Mr. Missouri. You want your team to talk about you like that. How would you talk about Mr. Lee or Ms. Palmfield? You want your team to talk about you like that because you're the Mr. Lee and Ms. Palmfield to your team. Think about that. And who controls that? You. But the more you grow, the more you educate yourself. Folks, you have no idea how you educate the people that's following you. Because when they see you step your game up, what do?
Step their game up.
But if you dragging your butt, oops, that's lame. But if you dragging, what do you think they do? But then you're gonna be mad at them like, hey man, what happened to the points for the day? Man, you ain't getting no points. Does that make sense? Folks, have high energy weekly calls, folks. You want your team to be like, man, get our team call, man. Then you want people to call the downline and let them know about your team call. Not just, man, let's go on this thing real quick, man. Let's see what he's talking about. Don't laugh.
But they do it.
Right. But when there's value there, when you know you point out your heart and you educate yourself and bringing value because you're teaching people how to make income from the information you give them. That's key. When you help somebody generate a check, they rolling with you. Mm-hmm. But if they working with you and no check is coming, you can like, well, hey man, doing what you're telling me, ain't no check coming. And one of the things that I always agree, folks, when you help people feed their families, there's value in that relationship. Mr. Missouri has helped me do some outstanding things for my family. He's helped, like I said, my son is in private school at 3 years old, $800-something a month. It's because of his business and Mr. Missouri helping me pay. I mean, I'm a guy, I would get 5 jobs to educate my son. But through this opportunity and through the team, folks, you got to understand the team that you have your hands on. Through the team and the information and knowledge, T&I pays for my son's private school. Does that make sense? And then people say, but a good buddy say, but you got to invest $120 every month. I say, hey, brother, you have any idea what I do with the quad of the original that comes? Let me tell you a secret. You drink it. You drink it, and all the checks still come. I tell my buddy, at first, I didn't know if the beverage worked or not. I drank it because I paid for it. But when I noticed I never got sick and I always was upbeat, hey, maybe it is. But I can tell you, folks, you have to educate your team, and that you have to be the key person in their eyes. Does that make sense? But you have to invest in you and educate yourself, and continue to educate yourself, and that's how you're going to start building this momentum. Does that make sense? Yes. Folks, in this next one, man, if you learn this, promotion pays big money. You must promote the next event. One of the things that we always talked about is BAM FAM, B-A-M-F-A-M. Book a meeting from a meeting. Book a meeting from a meeting. What that means, your players that are here, as we wrap up this weekend on Sunday morning or Saturday night, you have to book a meeting with these key people that are here, whether it's a meeting or whether it's a function or whether it's activities. You have to book something because they're in front of you. Who's easiest to work with, the people that are with you or the people on the telephone?
People that are with you.
People that are with you. So you start here and promote the next event. If you learn promotion pays big money. Big money. Would you rather be the promoter or the ticket salesman? Promoter. You want to promote the restaurant or sell the tickets to the restaurant? You want to promote the movie or sell the tickets? You want to promote the fight like Don King or fight? Don King make more than both of the boxers and they ain't never do a punch. And how does that work? But he promotes it. He has that vision. He lets people know what's going to happen over these next 30 days or the next 90 days or the next 120 days. Does that make sense, folks? You have to be able to promote events. And as we wrap up, and again, I hope this last minutes was something that you can take home or you can take to your room tonight and be effective. But the biggest thing, folks, you got to challenge yourself. I really think if you're not willing to compete, this is not the game for you. And the only person you're competing with is your last 30 days. Is you competing with you. But if you can't compete, next year at our next black tie, you can be at the same position. But you got to be willing to compete. You got to be willing to get a little uncomfortable. Does that make sense? Because as you get uncomfortable, believe it or not, you're getting comfortable in other areas in your life. Just because you're uncomfortable don't mean you're uncomfortable, if that makes sense. And folks, as we wrap up, folks, you got to believe that you're a winner. You got to believe that you're here for a reason, and you got to believe that you have some power within you that haven't been touched yet. And you also got to believe when you're around winners like this, the best start to come out. The only reason I'm doing some of the things that I'm doing now is because I'm around people like Mr. Missouri, Mr. Art Lee, Mr. Valencia Palmfield. Because when you're around champions, what comes out of you? Champion. But if you're around wimps, what come out of you? Wimp. So what I'm sharing with you, you can't be the wimp around your people. Because if Mr. Lee and Ms. Palmfield is the champion around you, you have to be the champion around your team. Does that make sense? So folks, this weekend, man, I'm so excited. I'm glad that we're all here. This is my first black tie. I've heard about it for a long time. And all I did was listen to my coach, and they said, hey, you need to promote. You need to promote. You need to promote. Does that make sense? And that's all we did is promote. We was promoting on the way up here. But the thing about it, folks, you have to feel good about what you have. You have to feel good about the people you're with. And you have to feel good about what's going to happen to you tomorrow. Does that make sense? Then every day, at the end of the day, recap your day and plan for tomorrow. Every day, recap your day. Did it go my way? What was my results? And then plan for tomorrow. And every day, folks, you have to. I know we have fun. I know we have a good time. But, folks, this is a result-only environment. You follow me? You can go somewhere and say, I had fun all week, but no points in the system. Horrible. Results-only environment. That's just my tip. Does that make sense? Hey, man, thank you for sharing some time, folks. God bless. Black tie.
You guys tell me, wasn't that worth waiting for? Yes! How many of you guys really enjoyed Mr. Thomas? He's speaking from the way he builds his business. One thing Art and I are really big on is, as far as the team is concerned, is putting individuals in front of you who are doing this. We are totally production oriented. And obviously Mr. Berry is kind of leading charge in the man team right now. He's